Hey everybody, it's me, Michael B. Happy Monday everybody. Tonight we're talking about Arcade1Up Legacy Edition. Will Arcade1Up expand the Legacy Edition line in 2022? Let's talk about what I know, let's talk about what I think, and let's talk about what I think won't happen. All tonight on Chill and Chat with Michael B. So I am trying my best not to use my countdown. It's so hard because I'm so used to the countdown, trying to get things going that way. You guys may have also noticed my mechanical, I don't know what you want to call it here, robot arm that I bought for my Blue Yeti. I always notice when I watch the show back that my volume seems a little bit low when I'm listening to it compared to what I like and other YouTubers I like to listen to. So I'm trying this boom arm or whatever you call it. And anyways, yeah, it's okay. I wish it didn't have an L-shaped desk and it would be a little bit more comfortable. But anyways, enough of that. Let's talk about the Legacy Edition cabinets. And yeah, we might talk about some T2 gameplay as well, guys. No worries there. But come out a year later, so you never know. Change is hard, but change is good usually. Hello, Zohar. How are you, brother? Let's see who we got in the chat tonight. I see Donuts. Jason, give us all your Arcade1Up hidden secrets, Michael B. We won't tell anybody. Well, maybe. Now the volume is loud. That's what I like to hear, Michael Suna. I'm glad you guys can hear me. Before, I used to have to put my Blue Yeti on the desk and hope that you guys could hear me good. Hopefully this sounds good. Sounds great, Ritual Dello says. That's what I like to hear. Happy Monday, everybody. Download Pinball for PC from that link. Okay? Okay? I'm also, for your guys' benefit, trying not to wear my RGT85 beanie. I'm also not trying to wear my hat, so that's for you guys. Setup sounds A1. That's what I like to hear. Okay, guys, so let's get started. Tonight we're talking about the Arcade1Up Legacy Edition, and I got a little bit of a diatribe I want to go through when I get this started so it'll make sense. So CES 2022 came and went, and we didn't really get a lot in terms of announcements. We've got the Pro line, which is a huge tech announcement from Arcade1Up. It's going to drastically change how that business is run going forward. But then we also got 3 new Legacy Edition cabinets. And when I say new, they're not new. I mean, they're new designs of these Legacy cabinets. And sure, there's additional games, but they're really re-releases of Legacy cabinets we got last year. They're the Evergreen brand with a new skin. Okay, here we go. Goofyfoot, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Number 1 question, are you going to buy the Toyminator 2 cabinet? I don't know. There might be another video, maybe Thursday, about where I am with Terminator 2. That's what I'll say. I don't want to give away too much tonight, but I watched B's video and back and forth with Gabriel, and it does look really cool. I've said it. I really want Terminator 2. It's just there's a couple things that make it not perfect, and wow. This is a good comment. Thank you very much for the super chat, Goofyfoot. I appreciate it, brother. Vic Vicious says, I'm choosing you over Raw, so make it good. Honestly, beating out Raw in terms of entertainment and quality. I could sit here and do nothing, and I think I'd still be able to do it. It's that bad now. Like, I am the biggest wrestling fan in the world. Like, if you talked to Mike from 10 years ago and told him that he'd be doing a live YouTube show Monday nights instead of watching wrestling, I would have told you were crazy. Crazy. But here we are, and can't watch it. Oh, Zohar, don't tell me that. Thursday. We'll talk about it more on Thursday. I can't make up any decisions right now. I bought this arm, which isn't a huge expense, but I also have a new camera coming that I'm going to use for live streaming and for doing videos up here in my office. So pay for that first. I know, Pipple. I know it's T2, 0 replay value. PDubs Arcade Loft, T2 will be in the Genie Arcade, yes. Right now, no PDubs, no. But it does look cool, doesn't it? All right, so going back, the Legacy cabinets were announced. We're getting Mortal Kombat, which is awesome. I don't even consider that to be a Legacy cabinet. Thank God, though, it's got the same game, so I won't feel so bad about turfing my Midway Legacy now, which is amazing. And at least we have AEW. That's true, Vic Vicious. Turfing my Midway Legacy now, which is amazing, and getting a cabinet that's going to be better to play with online features for Mortal Kombat. Like, it's an absolute dream. It's like we got Capcom, Street Fighter 2 Big Blue, except we also got all the great Legacy, Capcom Legacy games I didn't want to get rid of, and why I still have both those cabinets. So I'm all in on the Mortal Kombat Legacy Edition, the Mortal Kombat 30th Anniversary Midway Legacy. I'm going to sell my other one, get that one, no problem. Centipede doesn't have vertical screen, not super interested. Pac-Mania, I'm not that interested. So, you know, I get that other people are. This is a great opportunity for people who have never bought these cabinets before to get in. Also, you can buy these cabinets with online leaderboards for the first time, which is also good as well. But really, these are just the evergreen cabinets again with a couple updated features. They look great, good stuff. But I think a lot of people were kind of disappointed because I've been hearing things about it all year. Oh my good God. Wow, Oreo 16, or 1600. That is a massive super chat. You did not have to do that, brother. Thank you so much. Oh, I feel terrible, man. You didn't have to do that. Oh, what are your thoughts on the T2 PCB issues? What do you think that can mean for upcoming future cabs like Ridge Racer and Golden Tee Pro? I don't know if the Golden Tee is actually a Pro KI PCB issues. Yeah, no problem. You didn't have to do that. I would have read your comment anyways, brother. Thank you so much. Do you think things will be more limited due to ongoing semiconductor shortage? Well, this is a little hard to answer. I'm going to answer your super chat right now until I get back to my other comments. So let me answer this. They've been having PCB issues pretty much since Big Blue came out. I got my Big Blue and my PCB was messed up. So I had to get a replacement cabinet, and they actually ended up sending me a replacement PCB as well. So there was a little bit of an issue with that. It was just a power issue. Maybe it was in soldering. The KI one with the power issue, it all leads back to KI was done by Code Mystics. And Code Mystics, sometimes like on some arcades, Tron, NBA Jam, X-Men is another Code Mystics game as well. Instead of just doing a power off, they have that slower shutdown. And I don't know the science behind it all, but it just has that timed shutdown. I hate it. I hate the fact that my cabs don't turn off uniform. And I'm guessing Killer Instinct is the same. So there seems to be some kind of a crosswire in some people's cabinets where while it's going off, it doesn't register as fully off, so it's in like a sleep mode, shutting down, and you actually have to unplug the cabinet to reset it to come back on. And I don't know, I haven't been following too much closely after that, but some people have said further issues. I think it's just something wrong with that script for shutting down, or like Richie Odella said, probably cheating out on capacitors. That's done a lot in the gaming world. Like, if anybody bought a Turbo Duo, which is one of the most sought-after consoles of all time, one of my most sought-after, the thing's a piece of shit because it's got shitty capacitors in it. The Genesis Model 2s, the Genesis Model 3s, Game Gears all had terrible capacitors. They cheaped out on the capacitors, and the capacitors dumped. You can't even turn the power strip. I don't know what that is, Howard Batchelor. No firmware update for me. Power issues, popping speakers, unplugging, replugging. So yeah, or 1600 to answer your question. I don't know. I haven't really talked to John D much lately, and I haven't had a chance to ask him. I would love to see some kind of answer from them. I know they'll say the same thing. It's the same chips they've always been using, but something's certainly going on, and maybe it's something to do with chip shortage. They've got to source the stuff from a different place where they're not getting the same quality stuff, or maybe it's something to do with the factory, a timing issue. But man, oh man, I'm sorry that people are having that issue. I wish that wasn't the case. So I'm very sorry. Thank you again so much for the super chat. You did not have to do that. That's massive. Thank you so much. All right. So guys, back on to my original issue. So Arcade1Up released these 3 legacy cabs, and I did get some feedback that it was, along the lines of, I think that they still had a lot of cabs coming out. Killer Instinct still wasn't out at the time CES came out. We still hadn't seen Terminator 2, which is out now. And then we also, am I red? 1 second. Nope, we're still excellent condition. Thanks. All right, so just 1 second, guys. Clear. There we go. So TI, Terminator 2, all that came out, and they basically didn't want to oversaturate the market because we got so many cabs last year, so many cabs. Why announce a bunch of new stuff now to dilute people from possibly buying Terminator 2, Ridge Racer, and Killer Instinct? Because you think about it, they announced an NFL Blitz, all of a sudden you're like, well, maybe I'll just hold off for Blitz. So I think that's why we only got what we got. But ever since last year, I've been hearing people talk about the Legacy Edition because we got 4 Legacy Editions, and they were saying, I wonder what the next Legacy Edition is going to be. Will Arcade1Up do more of these Legacy Editions? What other cabs companies can we expect to see in this mix? So what I've done up on the thumbnail is he owns the only one in Greenland. So what I did was up on the thumbnail, I put up the ones that were a combination of what I believe will happen, what I have a strong indication might happen, and then also what I think people want to happen. So the first one I want to talk about is I put Altered Beast up on there. So why is Altered Beast there? Well, ever since the Golden Axe cab came out last year, people were enthralled with the Golden Axe cab, but they were upset that it was a 4-player cabinet. And what they suggested was, man, this really should have been a 2-player cabinet. I'd love to see a Sega Legacy cabinet with a couple other games on. So what my thinking was is maybe they don't do another Golden Axe 2-player, which was rumored for a very long time, but they do a Sega Legacy cabinet. So we see the same 5 games that were on that Golden Axe cabinet, plus a list of other great Sega arcade classics. Hey, Seth Lacey, what's happening? No worries about being late, brother. Rise from your grave. The other thing, too, is that Altered Beast arcade is beautiful. So that's the one I threw it. And can you imagine if they announce NFL Blitz during the Super Bowl while the 49ers are playing? John D will go through the moon. Altered Beast, Golden Axe, online multiplayer will be legit with the 2-player cabinet. You're going to get some Shinobi. You're also going to get some Revenge of Shinobi and Shadow Dancer. And then, throw in some other Sega arcade classics. So that's my first speculation that I'm throwing out there. I don't have any information on this one at all, but this is just fans. Fans have been asking Sega Legacy. They wanted to see Golden Axe come out, except instead of a 4-player, in a 2-player, so I love the artwork for Altered Beast. I think this would be a natural progression for them to do a Sega Legacy cab. Let me know what you guys think. J. Roth says Streets of Rage 2. Streets of Rage was never an arcade game, but it's a great beat-em-up. I can't remember exactly which one, but one of the Sega Genesis Streets of Rage, I don't know if it was Sega Streets of Rage 1 or Streets of Rage 2, was actually ported to an arcade, but it was still the Genesis version in an arcade cabinet. I'm so confused with that story, but one of them actually was in the arcade, but it was still the Genesis version. Never played Altered Beast in the arcade. My introduction was on the Amiga 500. Like the game, though. Golden Axe is Sega Legacy, Digipunk says. Oh, Atul. We're going to talk about that later. Let's talk about Sega Legacy yet, and we'll come to the Konami 4-player Legacy, because I think people are going to be pretty unhappy when we talk about that one. What would be on a Sega Legacy? Well, you're going to get the same games that we got already. You'll get Golden Axe the Duel added, which is a fighting game. Then you're also going to get the other two arcade Shinobi games. So you would look at Shadow Dancer and Revenge of Shinobi. Then they would also do... You'd also be hard-pressed to come up with 10 good games. Okay, Jamie Loken. I don't know. I don't know what else you could throw on it. There's bunches of them out there. Look at the games on the Sega games that were released on iArcade. So you've got, eSWAT. You've got, oh man, I'm at a loss here now. I can't remember them all, but Sega Legacy. So I think most likely this is a bit of a dream. I don't know if Arcade1Up's relationship with Sega is quite there yet, that they would go for a Sega Legacy cab, but Papa Brad's Gaming, thank you very much for the comment. Yes, you can play on any multicade, Papa Brad. This is something Arcade1Up fans want, not to play on a multicade. They want to play it on an Arcade1Up specifically Legacy cab, which in essence is a multicab, just with different art. So yes, these are all games you can play on any multicade, 100%. I know you want to see something unique, like you said, Star Wars Trilogy, but this is for the people that are Arcade1Up fans, not necessarily multicade fans. I hope that's a good explanation of what I'm saying, because I think that's what you're saying. You want to see Star Wars. That's not a Legacy cabinet. Star Wars, Sega Star Wars Arcade, we're not talking about a Legacy cabinet there. Yes, Vic Vicious now is eSWAT. But that's a cab that could come. I know, Papa Brad does love the multicades. Because not everybody wants a multicade, Papa Brad. It's a pretty simple answer. Yeah, PDubs, I'm with you on that one. I doubt Sega Legacy will happen this year. Maybe this is something that's going to happen in the future. I would expect to see another Sega cab before they went to a Legacy, if there's another Sega cab to be there. Maybe like Papa Brad's asking for, Sega Star Wars Trilogy. That's possible before there's a Sega Legacy. And then there's also other Sega games that I think they might be interested in doing. So we'll see, especially the newer ones in the racing genre, like maybe Daytona somewhere down the line. So we can kind of put Golden Axe and the Sega Legacy to bed. I don't think it's coming this year, but it definitely would be a cool cabinet, and I would love to see an Alter Beast theme cabinet, 2-player. I love my Golden Axe cabinet. I think it's awesome. But I will admit, I wish it was a 2-player cabinet. I'm with everybody on that. 4 players only for Golden Axe, Revenge of Death Adder. I don't need it. I would rather that be a 2-player cabinet. So I'm with everybody on that. All Points Bulletin. Good stuff. I only like my multicades on Mondays, Mike Hockhart says. Nate UT, I'm not a fan of multicades. I never end up playing anything and the controls aren't right. That's where we get into the conversation. We've talked about it a million times. Nothing wrong with multicades. I have many. I like them. I like them a lot. But I also like having arcades that look like arcades, emulating an arcade, yada, yada, yada. Let's not get into that conversation tonight. So here's one that's really easy to do. I put Burger Time up there, and I'm glad my buddy PDubs Arcade Loft is here in the chat, because this is kind of based on his video. That's one of the big reasons I put it up there. The other one is it's just kind of a no-brainer. Arcade1Up already made a Data East cabinet. They already made Burger Time, but much like the first wave of Pac-Man, Burger Time is beautiful. I love my Burger Time cab, but it's not right. So I would love to see them redo Burger Time and actually do the side panels the right way, with the right shape. I love my Burger Time, but give us the right shape for the cabinet. Then they can maybe stick with the same control schematic, or you can take I can't believe I'm forgetting the game now off the top of my head. Kung Fu Master, is that it? Take that off the cabinet and stick with more of a more traditional, instead of 4 joysticks, more traditional layout that would be more comfortable to play games like Burger Time. Then you can put other stuff on it, like we see Bad Dudes, like we see, what else was on a Joe Mac? We can put the other Joe Mac games, Congo's Capers, Joe Mac 2. You definitely won't get RoboCop, and that's one of the reasons we'll talk about for the 4-player Konami beat-em-up cab, while that won't work. But where it's a licensed game, and movie licenses are nightmares, like we see with Terminator 2 right now. Karate Champ, thank you very much, Papa Brad. Like we see with Terminator 2 now, if you do a RoboCop cab, it's probably only going to have RoboCop games on it. They don't mix the licensed stuff with general arcade games. It just doesn't happen. Tyler Fisher, that's a really good point, and this is where it gets interesting. So Data East, the licenses are relatively cheap to get. Arcade1Up already has some of them, but the problem is bring up the super chat. Great, here comes Michael B with the Bad Dudes cabinet request. You know I'd love a Bad Dudes cabinet. Kongs R Us, what's happening, brother? So I want to go back to this comment, if I can get this thing to go up. Oh my good God. Tyler, where'd you go? Burger Time does have great cab art, and that's why I want it for Papa Brad. But Tyler brought up a good comment. He said, I'm going to clear this, but I thought Burger Time didn't sell well. It didn't. So they had their 3,000 limited run, and it was a direct sale through Arcade1Up. And unfortunately, I get the impression that it didn't necessarily light the world on fire, because if I'm not mistaken, still available. Burger Time is one of the greatest arcade games of all time, in my opinion, but I guess the fact that they put on Bad Dudes, which I love, and they put on Joe and Mac, which were horizontal games on a vertical screen, kind of pushed people off. Plus, they ran into a really bad time frame that I think kind of scared some people off from buying it, where they ran into that issue where people pre-ordered it and then had to wait like almost a year to get it. So I don't think that helped with the direct sale issue. Then somehow, stock showed up in Canada. I wish I never spent like $1,000 getting my Burger Time cab, because I could have just bought it for the regular $5.99 here in Canada. Stock showed up in Canada, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, stock is still available, still out there in some places. So, wrong, they sold all the Burger Time. So Burger Time is finally sold out, Peter Griffin, Electric Drum says. So they struggled to sell 3,000. And even though they sold the 3,000 eventually, the question then comes, is there enough interest out there for them to make another Data East cabinet? Whether it be Burger Time, whether they go for one of the other big Data East games, whether I don't know if there is anything else out there that's a big seller from the Data East library that's not a licensed title that could get the Walmarts and the other stores excited to carry them. But I've been wrong before. You guys tell me, is there something out there other than Burger Time done correctly that would be a amazing Data East game for the marquee title and get retailers excited to order? Like Tron was ordered. They sold like tens of thousands of Tron right out the gate to retailers. Burger Time sold out last year early on. Okay, perfect. Now tell me what they need to do. Data East Cab needs Trio the Punch. Then you'll have my purchase. Double Dragon. Double Dragon's a hard one because of a lot of reasons. We can talk about that 100%. I Burger Time, and it will sell. Do Burger Time right? Yeah. So Jamie Loken says, Michael B. the Game Genie, I think they have way better market penetration now than they did then, but that's just me. What I'm trying to get at, because I would 100% sell my Burger Time and buy a new one if they made a Data East Legacy Cab. I was so excited when PDubs did his video the other day and suggested it. But what I'm asking you to do you think, and if Arcade1Up ever watched this, do you think they could sell another Data East Legacy Cab with a properly made Burger Time cabinet. Let me know what you think. If you agree, put a 1 in the chat. Do I need to do a poll? What about another Pong table type setup for 2022? Thank you so much for the super chat, Seth Lacey. Let me come back to that one. I think it depends on the data point of how well Pong sold. If it did really well, they could possibly do another one, but I don't know what the data is. It depends on if it was successful. I think it was a litmus test, and let's see how they did. Thank you again for the super chat, brother. Tons of available Data East. Well, there is, and it's dirt cheap for them. There's nothing wrong with my Burger Time. It's just the side panels are cool, but they're not arcade accurate. It's like Pac-Man. If you had the first Pac-Man cabinet that came out from Arcade1Up, it looked cool, but the new Namco Legacy, the last one that came out that has the accurate shape, looks a lot better. Burger Time, it would be the same thing for me. And I'm stupid enough to rebuy it just to get the right side panels. I'll do a poll, guys, and you answer the poll. This is a simple one. I should have done this for the Sega Legacy, too. Maybe I will. You think I could do two things at once? Here we go. Poll is out in the chat now. Back to the Future. That's what I thought. Real Ultimate Cardboard says London Drugs still has Burger Time. A majority, I say a majority, I don't know the actual numbers, but I should really find out sometime. A load of the Burger Time cabinets that didn't sell from Arcade1Up made their way to Canada, and some retailers like London Drugs might still have some stock. I think it was clearance stuff at the Brick, so I don't know, but you could still pop in one and they might have one. Someone did mention Data East and RoboCop again, and I think RoboCop would be an amazing choice for the primary game on a cabinet, but again, it's a licensing issue. It would be very hard to put anything else on the cabinet other than RoboCop. It'd be a lot like Terminator 2 we're experiencing now. You would get RoboCop and just RoboCop, so only RoboCop 1 and 2, which were the only two arcade games. Let's see how this poll is doing. Wow! So Data East Burger Time Legacy Cab is losing right now. Oh, Stringer Films, I love you, man. Thank you so much for the super chat. They need a rotary stick cab, heavy barrel. I love heavy barrel on the NES. I haven't fallen in love with it on the arcade yet, but it's essentially the same game. I would be very interested in heavy barrel. In fact, I don't know if you watch PDubs Data East cab video. It was one of the games he left off his Data East Legacy Cab, Burger Time Legacy Cab, and it kind of broke my heart. Heavy barrel's the shit, man. Thanks again for the super chat, Stringer Films. Thanks for being here, brother. Writes Retrocade, I'd buy a Konami Legacy for Pachinko. That's funny. Did you get the Castlevania Pachinko yet? Thank you so much for the super chat, brother. All right, so we're going to end the poll there now. Guys, you're breaking my heart. You're breaking my heart. No was the final answer, but I will ask again, even though it's not going to be a legacy cab, but I will ask the poll again. Look at that, 74 votes with 74 votes, 63% no. All right, we're going to do another quick poll here. And keep in mind, you would only get 2 games on this. And this is just for PDubs here tonight. Only 2 games. only 2 games, and it would absolutely be $700. Did that poll go up? Yes or no? There it is. Would you buy a RoboCop Arcade1Up cabinet? Only 2 games. Only RoboCop 1 and RoboCop 2. $749. Turning Arcade, I would too, but you get the mix of Burger Time in stock at London Drug website, won't ship to US. Now I know they won't, but if you know somebody close to the border, why do people hate Burger Time? Burger Time is awesome. You guys are killing me here. Wow, RoboCop, again, it's the price point and the fact there will only be 2 games, but I'm seeing a lot of, it looks to be kind of in the middle right now. It's about 50-50, leaning towards no right now on a RoboCop Arcade1Up, 56%. Console Fanboy says, no way. Astra Gaming, I'll buy anything on clearance. There we go. All right, when we hit the 2-minute point, I'm going to end this one, but this one, believe it or not, more people are interested in this one, it seems. It's wow, I'm surprised. 1 minute ago, just waiting for the time to go up. Would you buy a RoboCop Arcade1Up? Keep in mind the rules with Arcade1Up. It would just be RoboCop games, and it is going to be modern day pricing. I got 87 votes. I don't think it's ever going to come up on 2 minutes, or I'm crazy. 2 minutes, there we go. So we'll end the poll. So that one's right in the middle. It's at 54% for no. Still more no's than yes. Surprisingly, no RoboCop Arcade1Up. 88 votes. Wow. All right, so clearing this, that's Data East. Now, moving on to one that's a little bit more interesting, and that is Konami. So this is one I do know a little bit about. So right now for Konami, there's lots of stuff out there. The thing I'm going to tell you ahead of time that I know for 100% sure, How to Bachelor says small sample size. That's true. It is a small sample size, and we're more of a hardcore audience, not necessarily the masses. So, I don't know. Konami, this is the part you guys are going to hate right off the start. We got a super chat here from Jeff Walsh. Thank you so much. Pro line for Marvel vs. Capcom 2, House of the Dead, and Cruisin' only for me. Yeah, Cruisin' USA or Daytona, if they did a pro racing cab, I would be pretty excited about that. I need to see it because my expectation for a pro racing cab is not a pro stand-up. It's a pro sit-down and better than a bench. So I'd want to see that. House of the Dead, I'm in agreement for. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I'm not big into that one, so I don't know. Thank you very much for the super chat, Jeff Walsh. So, Konami Legacy, I'll just get it out in the air ahead of time for all the people that keep seeing releases like Turtles, X-Men, Simpsons, and saying, wow, like eventually all these games are just going to be on one cabinet anyways. I don't know how to say it better than what I'm going to say it. It would be very, 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 very difficult to do with licensing. Like, licenses don't play well together. And even if you say, oh, well, Disney owns X-Men, Disney owns The Simpsons, you can throw that on. Probably never, ever going to happen. So for those of you guys waiting for a 4-player Konami Legacy Cab with all the licensed titles together on one cabinet, it's probably never going to happen. You might be waiting a very, very, very long time for that. And by very long, I mean forever. Your closest you'll ever get to a Konami 4-player Legacy Cab is if you take a 4-player cab and put a Raspberry Pi in it and put all the Konami games on it. It's just not going to happen. So what we will see from a Konami Legacy cabinet is more along the lines of what I have posted here. You can expect to possibly see a Frogger. There's two options for it. I think that's going to happen. It's either going to be Frogger or it's going to be Contra. Now, we've seen Contra before. If you go all the way back to I'm not sure if it was CES or E3 a couple of years ago, Arcade1Up had that surprise. Like, remember they used to bring this like truck to events, and they'd be like, "Hey, come in the truck," and they show you the stuff they weren't allowed to put on the show floor. Well, one of those leaks came out, and it showed a Contra Arcade1Up cabinet. Now, I don't know if Contra is big enough in terms of an arcade game to bring people to the stage, but that's not the way Arcade1Up thinks. They think about selling point and selling to the masses. So while Contra might not be the strongest arcade game out there for arcade hardcores, it is very familiar for console gamers. Everybody knows Contra, so maybe that's a direction they would go in. But then you go the other direction with Frogger, and this is the reason I suggest Frogger. Even though Frogger was 1,000% not a success for Arcade1Up when they released it, because it was only 3 games, it had the wrong artwork, and didn't have the music, there's a possibility they can rectify that. This is something I do know. The reason why they couldn't use the original art on the cabinet for Frogger is because the art is actually owned by Sega. Sega released it in arcades. So, with that in mind, now with their new relationship with Sega, they can possibly get the Sega art for Konami Frogger and make that work. You just have to get Konami to sign off on it. I don't know if you noticed, but Konami have really fallen in love with the new art, and they use it on everything. Even in, what's the name of the movie, Pixels, they have new art on the Frogger machine. They're all in. Willie Kramer says Contra will be better than Frogger. Okay, but here's the interesting thing. So it is going to be a vertical screen. You're going to get Contra, Super Contra, you're going to get Frogger, you're going to get Time Pilot, you're going to get Time Pilot 84. Don't expect any of the 4-player beat-em-up games. I don't think that's what this is going to be about. I think you're going to get Frogger and the Contra games. Now, I could be wrong, and they could throw some of their beat-em-up games on it, not anything that you're super excited about, stuff like Violent Storm and other Konami beat-em-ups that are a little bit more hidden gems. I don't even want to use that word, but still really good games. But more than likely, it's probably going to be a vertical cabinet with vertical games. We'll see. But like we've been doing, I'm going to throw it in the poll here now. Would you like to see a Konami Legacy Cab? We'll do that first, and then we're going to ask the question after that, Frogger or Contra, what would you prefer? So first up, and keep in mind, no, but How to Bachelor, I know how TMNT has 2-player versions, but they're not going to put the licensed games on there. So don't expect a licensed game on this. No TMNT, no X-Men, nothing like that. Scott Bomer says Frogger had the more mainstream appeal. What about Sunset Riders? That is a Konami dedicated game, so that could possibly be there. Could be possibly there. Yes. If there was a 2-player ROM. Hidden Gems is such an arcade term. Hey, Zohar, I've been using Hidden Gems now for like 12 years. Well, no, 8 years. Would you buy a vertical Konami Legacy Cab? And ask the community. There it is. Hey, Kev Grab, what's happening, brother? Now, I just got to go back. Stringer Films. Did I hear RoboCop? I'd buy it for $1. Yeah, we talked about RoboCop. It didn't get the appeal most people wanted. They just wanted, well, it was 50-50. I think it's tough because if they did a RoboCop, it'd only have 2 games. So you're looking at 2 RoboCop arcade games, even though you might be a big RoboCop fan. $700 for 2 RoboCop games. It's tough, right? If the price was still around $3.99, I think it'd be a little bit more interesting. Frogger with original music. I think that's the one thing they can't do. because I don't know exactly what the song is, but it's like a Japanese nursery rhyme, and I don't understand why people can't use it because it's Creative Commons, or maybe where it's Creative Commons, you can't put it into a licensed product. I don't know what the deal is, but I don't think we're ever going to get Frogger with the correct music, unfortunately. Depends on what's on the Konami money. Well, it'll be the same price as all the other legacy cabinets. That's my guess. So I don't know what that's going to be yet. I think it's going to be $4.99, but I could be wrong. I was talking to Gabe Gerwin, and after I put up my video, how much legacy cabs are going to be going forward, he said, David McIntosh said they were going to be the same price as the original legacy cabs. So I find that strange. I don't think Arcade1Up would go back to a $3.99 price point with a light up marquee and riser, but we'll see. I mean, fingers crossed. Hey, Evan Stamps, what's happening? Nate UT, they stole the music, so yeah, we're probably not going to get it. Four-player cabinets have two-player variants. I know what I'm saying is you're not going to get any of the four-player licensed games, brother. That's all. Only 2 games. I'd buy that for $1. Thanks, Stringer Films. Oh, so 2 minutes ago, in poll, we're at almost 60% yes, would buy a vertical Konami cabinet. Now, here comes the magic question. I'm going to throw this up again and see what you guys think. If I can get the poll to work. Here we go. Sorry, guys. And boom, it's out there. So you guys got 2 minutes to decide. Do you want to see Frogger with the correct artwork and marquee and no horrible screen filter? Or do you want to see Contra? Do you want it to be a new Legacy Cab? Now, realistically, if they ever did a Konami Legacy Cab, it could be both. And the community is off to a very hot start. 83% would prefer Contra. Oh, it's moving. Jamie Loken, again. Wild West Cowboys and Moo Mesa is a licensed game. You will not see licensed stuff on a Legacy cabinet. People don't remember that. Moo Mesa, Wild West Cowboys and Moo Mesa had a cartoon too. Michael Suna says no to both. Sunset Riders. I would love to see a Sunset Riders cab. I was disappointed they couldn't put Sunset Riders on Simpsons or Turtles. That's how this information kind of came out. Everybody complained so much about wanting to see some of these other Konami 4-player beat-em-ups on the cabinets that it leaked that when it's a licensed game, you almost can't do it. Yes, we would love to see Bucky O'Hara licensed. We can't do it. Yeah, Moo Mesa. Moo Mesa is a cartoon. Look it up, brother. So's Bucky O'Hara. Bucky O'Hara's a cartoon and a toy line. You'd never be able to get it. Michael B., I would buy Robotron 2084 cabinet in a heartbeat. I want one bad. When do you think it's coming out from Arcade1Up? Steven C., thank you so much for the super chat, brother. I think sometime this year, I think next October, you're going to be able to buy a cabinet from Arcade1Up with Robotron 2084 on it. The only problem is, I don't think it's going to have the Robotron 2084 art. So it's going to be a Smash TV cabinet. That's my guess. I know a lot of people are happy with that. Me personally, I would rather have the Robotron. It gets into the conversation. I can play Robotron right now on my Legends Ultimate with twin sticks, and it works really good. So why would I want to buy another cabinet that doesn't have Robotron on it that I can play Robotron on. This is where we get into the weird conversation. I will want to buy it from Arcade1Up because it's licensed and the company gets money, sure. But it still doesn't have that Robotron artwork, and that kills me. I don't want to buy a Smash TV cab. I want to buy a Robotron cab, so it's tough. Steven, you let me know if you think the same thing or if you'd be happy just playing Robotron on a Smash TV cabinet. Good guess. I'd be happy with Smash TV. A lot of people would be. A lot of people are pretty excited about that. I missed a comment there I want to go back to from Papa Brad's Gaming. Those licenses can't be that expensive. Those are dead cartoons. It's not about the money. The money is not necessarily the issue. It's about rights, because not everybody wants to play well together. And while it is a dead cartoon, like a concept Cowboys of Moo Mesa, somebody's probably holding on to that and they want to protect it because eventually they might try to bring it up again. It's super hard to explain. I wish it was just a money issue, because you can throw more money at something, but when it's complicated like that, it gets complicated. All right, so we're going to end the poll, even though you guys have broke my heart. 68% of the hardcore audience here that took part want to see a Konami Legacy with Contra as the marquee game. You're killing me, guys. You're killing me. War 1600 says, what do you think the likelihood of a Daytona USA or Hydro Thunder coming out in the next 2 to 3 years would be? Would be an instant buy for both for me. So I think Daytona USA is very, 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 very good. That's one of the most requested cabs of all time. Hydro Thunder, a little bit less. Question is, right now Arcade1Up only makes stand-up racing cabinets. That's what the standard is. Would you be happy with both of those, Daytona USA and Hydro Thunder, in stand-up form, or would you like to see some kind of sit-down racer that works well instead of just that horrible bench? Thank you very much for the super chat, brother. I think Daytona USA, yes, maybe even this year. Hydro Thunder, maybe that's the future. We only get one a year, too, you got to remember. So don't expect anything till much later this year after Ridge Racers had time to sell. Brandon the Man. Hey, Michael B. Any chance of Afterburner cab? It's always a possibility. It's just hard. I don't know what the technology for it is. They've got the flight stick now that they've done Tron. So, they've got the R&D done. But I don't know. It depends on if they think it could sell. So, it's always a possibility, but I haven't heard anything about Afterburner in the near future. Thanks again for the super chat, brother. I really appreciate it. I'm with you on this one, Michael B. I want Robotron 2084 themed cab. I would pay anything for it. Yeah, one of the things I will say, I think Arcade1Up going forward will be a little bit easier to mod. So say, for example, we get Smash TV. The way that the marquees are going to be done in the future, it's not going to be that complicated box that we've been putting on. It's just going to be the plate that goes across like they use with Terminator 2. Control panel's a little tough, but you can put your deck protector over it. I think our best bet, more than likely, is going to be, once this cabinet comes out, seeing how good a job somebody like Joe Zabo or Tyler Arcade Graphics can do of coming out with kits so we can change to the game we want on the cabinet. Unfortunately, that's my best. What is Robotron 2084? Brother, you need to watch some classic arcade content. Robotron 2084 is the game. It's the game. JJ, no. I haven't heard a lot about flight stick replacements. I haven't heard anything on replacement parts for Tron. I have a ticket in, like everybody knows. I don't have super working Tron yet myself. Still waiting on parts, so no further news, brother. I'm sorry. So that's it, guys. I guess you want a Contra cab. I think this one's the most realistic of the cabinets I put up to actually happen. So we could possibly get that. I've got one. Oh, that's a good question, Seth Lacey. Do you think we'll get Carnival by Midway? Maybe. The problem with all these games like Carnival is what else do you put on the cabinet? Because it's not easy to do. Like X-Men was the first time they ever put a game on there because they put X-Men on there. And then they also put a game on there by a different company. We got 2 Data East games. And the only way it worked was they were all Marvel games. So, Shmups Cab would be killer. I'm surprised we haven't got that. I was playing through, what was it? Eco Fighters last night. And I was saying that myself. Like, we really haven't got a lot of shmups yet. Bob Oif, sorry to disappoint you, homie. What did I miss here, Bob? I'm sorry, Bob. I don't know. You know what, Pete? That's actually been brought up a couple times. And John D talked about this on 1UP Weekly and said we could do Moonwalker, but it'd be tough, but you can't put anything else on with it. So you'd have to do 2 games, the arcade Moonwalker and then the Genesis Moonwalker. So if someone wanted that, I'm sure they could possibly do it, but yeah, Jamie Loken, Carnival and Duck Hunt. What about a Taito puzzle bobble? Oh, I didn't even talk about Taito. So the other one that PDubs is really big on is the Taito cabinet. So as we know, Taito is heavily involved with AT Games, all their games on the AT Games, Legends Ultimate. They just did the Legends Pinball. But Arcade1Up have only really done one Taito cab so far. We did Space Invaders. So they could do a Legacy Edition Space Invaders themed cabinet and put some of those other great Taito games on it. Is that something you guys would like to see? Would you like to see another Space Invader? Or would you like them to go outside that and then put some other titles on it? Let me know. Best chance of a shmup cab will be R-Type or Raiden. Thank you so much for the super chat, Digipunk. I don't know if either of those games are big enough to be considered to be a shelf mover for Arcade1Up to consider. What I would suggest is maybe there's a possibility they could do 1942, 1941 Counterattack, 1943, and 1944. There might be something there, and then if you can put some other Capcom games on it, or maybe that ends up on a different Capcom Legacy down the line. Thank you again for the super chat, brother. Oh, Rob, and I don't think that our buddy 19K Fox is here, but there's a lot of games like Cadillacs versus Dinosaurs and Alien versus Predator that are amazing beat 'em ups. I'd love to see on a cabinet. Like I'd love to see a Capcom, beat 'em up cabinet. Papa Brad, I gotta catch this before this goes away. I would love to see a Capcom beat 'em up cabinet, but some of those games, again, you run into the license issues, like again with Alien vs. Predator license, Cadillacs vs. Dinosaurs, you might not remember. That's also a cartoon. Like there's so much good stuff out there that so hard. Arcade1Up did Space Invaders very poorly. They didn't do a good job of it, but you know, everybody loves a reclamation story, so I'd love to see them get another crack and then put some other cool Taito games on it. There's lots of them out there, so could be done. But I'm going to ask the chat. Taito. You know what's funny about this? Like, Taito was actually on the side of the cabinet when Did I call you? Not unless I pocket dialed you, Zohar. I'm sorry, brother. Would you like to see a Taito Legacy Edition cabinet? Whether it be Space Invaders, whether it be something else, more than likely be Space Invaders. That's their most marketable game. Do you think that would work? You guys let me know. 24 votes. Oh, I had to go check it here, see what's happening. I see a resounding yes so far. 36 votes in. Splatterhouse is in the top 50 arcade games of all time, if I'm not mistaken. You go back and you hear Arcade1Up talk about the roadmap, and they always talk about that top 50 arcade games. So, the problem is, like, we got a litmus test out there right now with Terminator 2, because you run into these cabinets that you can only throw one game on. You can't put anything else on. So, I mean, like a game like Splatterhouse, what else goes on it? And then, oh, Papa Brad. Yes. I'm sorry if I just came through your microphone there. Oh my God, yes. I would love a Zookeeper cabinet. I'm all in on the 3/4 scale Zookeeper that's coming out. Love Zookeeper, one of my favorites. There was something else here I wanted to come up to. You know what? I would love to see a proper Defender release. So I would love to see Defender with the right controls, and then if you can put something else on it, like Sinister, that'd be great. Now, Gorf, if you're going to do Gorf Arcade1Up, you got to do Gorf right, with the right controls. So that's all I'll say. Digipunk says Genesis, Splatterhouse 2 and 3. Yeah, you could do that, and you could even put in the TurboGrafx 16 port of Splatterhouse as well. Yeah, someone said you said Taito in the poll instead of Konami. Yeah, we're already past Konami, guys. Went past Konami. We've already said yes to Konami, but everybody wants to see it in Contra. Space Invaders without the overlay is blasphemy. So right now we are at 66% yes with a Taito Legacy Edition cabinet. Unbelievable. I have played the old Superman game, but definitely this is another one you won't see. So we're at 2 minutes. I'm going to end the poll. 66% of people want to see a Taito Legacy cabinet. I am surprised. I expected more people to go nuts for some of the other ones. I'm almost out of time, so I do want to throw it up there. One that I know we're going to see coming, and I don't think it's a surprise to people. I think we're going to get another Capcom Legacy. I know, mind blown, right? Release the Michael Jackson game. Always ignore. Bro, this year probably going to come out with a Miss Pac-Man 12-in-1. It's possible. They already did the Miss Pac-Man 40th anniversary plus the class of 1981, so I thought I'd be surprised if they came out with another Miss Pac-Man this year, but I've been wrong before. So Capcom, but do you think that it'll be another Capcom Legacy with another Street Fighter variant cab? Or do you think that we'll get... Oh, Emery Arcade says something interesting. Capcom Legacy in Big Blue. Interesting. Capcom Legacy in Big Blue, because I think Justin Console Kits... No, I can't say that. I can't say for one sure. But Capcom Legacy, maybe in a Big Blue edition, or maybe they come out with it in the Final Fight cab. Like, I broke my heart to sell my Final Fight cab because I love the artwork. I love everything about it. It's just, I wanted to consolidate for the Capcom Legacy edition. And then I ended up getting Big Blue anyway, so I didn't really do much of a good job with consolidating. But I would love to see them redo Final Fight, do it a little bit more accurate to the original cab, and then see where it goes from there. There's some other issues, like other options. I think Ghosts and Goblins or Ghouls and Ghosts Ghosts and Goblins is a really cool looking arcade cabinet, the original. So that would be very cool too. We'll see. Narc from TMNT. If they do a Williams cab, I'd be very surprised to see Narc not thrown on there. I don't think Narc could ever be a first tier game on the cabinet, a marquee game, but I think they could put it on there. I think they should do a Capcom Legacy with a different fighter like Alpha Series. I think that'll be a different cab altogether. Not Capcom Legacy, they'll just do an Alpha. Not just do an Alpha one. That's what I think. I feel like they might do a Pong cab since they already did the Cocktail. I was surprised they didn't do that, actually, because I thought for sure we were going to get a Pong stand-up based on the original one. So, yeah. Jason M says, I'd love to see a Capcom Legacy without fighters on it. I've suggested this too, where you could do a Final Fight cab and I think One Up Weekly did a show on this a little while ago where they talked about doing a Capcom fighting cab from Arcade1Up. You do Final Fight Art, and then you got games like Captain Commando, and there's a bunch of not licensed Capcom beat-em-up games that would be really good. Oh, Emery Arcade. No, it's not. It's not going to be Alien vs. Predator skinned. 19K Fox has got everybody convinced that Arcade1Up's going to make an Alien vs. Predator cab. Not going to happen. I love Big Blue too. I would love to see that. I suggested that earlier for a shooter cab, so we'll see. Anyways, like I got to go because it's my time, but is there any other arcade companies that I didn't mention here tonight? Because like I thought about it, there's already a Midway, which also kind of encompasses Williams. I don't know of anything else. And the other side of it is, I don't know if Arcade1Up is going to do anything else with a Legacy Edition. Maybe the Legacy Editions that we see now are the only Legacy Editions Arcade1Up will do. A lot of these games that we're talking about that we'd like to see in a Legacy Edition is basically just taking money out of their pocket when they could be doing, just like, for example, a Sunset Riders cab with a couple other things on it and selling that for $700. Why give it away for free? It's part of a Legacy unit. It'll be really, really interesting. I would absolutely love a Punisher cab. So hard because what else do you put on it, right? I would have, if Capcom and X-Men could have worked together, if they could have put Punisher on that X-Men cabinet, oh my God, would that have been good. Sega, we mentioned Sega earlier. Tekken cab. Tecmo. I don't know a lot of Tecmo in the arcade. Like Technos, we talked about Technos because, and I don't even know who owns Technos and like those games now, but like Double Dragon, what would Double Dragon be on? Because Double Dragon originally was like a Technos Japan game that came out on a Taito cab. Oh man, that's complicated. Everybody wants that. I think it won't be a Legacy cab. I think it'll be just a fighter. That's a dirty word around here, console fanboy. Smash TV. Robotron. We all want Robotron. Gottlieb Kubert. I don't think that'll be a Legacy cab, but I think Arcade1Up would be surprised how much interest there would be in a Kubert. They have the license. They just have been difficult with it, and they don't know whether or not it would sell, but if Arcade1Up put out a Kubert, I think they'd be surprised at how many people would pick them up now. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Throwing ideas out there about the Arcade1Up Legacy cabinets. I hope I've provided some information to you that maybe makes some of this stuff a little bit more, I don't know what the right word for it is, a little bit easier to navigate. Like I've heard all kinds of people saying out there they want to see a Konami 4-player Legacy cab with all the licensed titles on there. Never going to happen. But all right, Jay Reed, you got it. Before I leave, one more poll. We'll just ask. All right, I've got 2 minutes, and I probably spelled wood wrong. Here we go. No, Bob Boy, thank you for coming, man. All right, would with an E because I'm Canadian. You buy a Kubert Arcade1Up cabinet. You guys tell me. And off to a resounding start at 73%. I know PDubs would. More than his dartboard. He wants the Arcade1Up Kubert cab. It's going down a little bit. Yeah, I got a feeling too. I think Kubert, of the big classic arcade games, Kubert's one that I'm really surprised they haven't done yet, so. Oh, it's starting to go down. It started off hop, now it's going down a little bit. Comment of the night by Console Fanboy. 100% rather have Pit Fighter combo with Primal Rage than Kubert. Yikes. No, Digipunk, thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it, guys. You guys don't know how much fun you've brought to me. I love doing this every Monday night. I'm a YouTuber, But I also consider myself to be a big fan of all this stuff, and it's great to talk to other people that are interested in the same way I am and kind of bounce ideas off each other. That's what I love so much about doing the show. So thank you so much for being here. Just take a pre-order poll. Well, we're at 68 votes so far. We're still at 60%. It's closer than I thought. I think sometimes when these questions go up, people, like, it's like the Pac-Man conversation. Every time they see a Pac-Man, they're like, oh, great. But it's not like they're not going to release something else because they released another Pac-Man. It didn't take away from what you could buy. So don't think that way. Just would you buy it? And I guess 60% of the people here say would. Oh, Kev Craig, good to see a nice toxic free. We can get toxic. What do you want to talk about? You're a fellow elder gamer comrade. Thank you so much, Digipunk. Donuts, I think so too. If I can get your chat here, it keeps moving. Mr. Doo's an interesting one. I've never seen a Mr. Doo cap in real life. Thank you so much, Rob P. I enjoy you guys coming and hanging out as well. Alan, evening all. Looks like I joined at the end of the stream. Sounds like it was a good chat. Time for replay. Thanks so much for coming in, Alan. I'm sorry. I wish you could have been here earlier, brother. Anyways, the last chat everybody asked for. 62% of people say yes, they would buy a Q*bert Arcade1Up. Oh, if they released Tapper, would it be butter root beer? Well, we already have a Tapper. I would love like a Tapper. Love a Tapper with the artwork done right. Unfortunately, I think it would be root beer. We already have Tapper on the Midway Legacy, and they did go with root beer. So, anyways, guys, I could stay here, answer questions all night. Gabriel Gray, I got to talk to you. Maybe I'll do a second one of these this week. Maybe you and me can get together on that. Anyways, everybody, have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again on a Monday. This is Michael B. the Game Genie, and I'll talk to you next time. I can never find the end video stuff. Ha!